What's up guys, Pete with Auto Repair Tips. In this video, I'm doing another tool review. I had a company called ThinkCar and they sent me a scanner to look at. It's their 689BT. It's a little under 600 bucks. And when you purchase that scanner, you actually get, I think it's a year subscription for automatic updates. But look at it for yourself just to verify that it's still the same. It hadn't changed since this video has been made. So I'm not going to do an unboxing. It just basically comes in a box like this and it's in a case. It's got a nice size case to it. It's a durable case, so if you drop it, you're not going to break your tool. Now, full disclosure, they sent me this scanner to look at. It was for free, and like normal, when I make these videos, I'm going to give you the pros and the cons. This is something that I probably won't use in my shop simply because I use this Snap-on Zeus, and it has more functions in this, and this is a little bit smaller. Plus, my eyes are getting bad. I need a big screen. Matter of fact, the bigger the better when I'm working on these damn things. Now, I may carry it to an auction when I go to buy a car or something. That way I can see what's wrong with the car at the auction. It's a good size for that. But if you're a guy that works at home on cars, this is probably perfect for you. It does a lot of things. I've kind of already went through it a little bit. It's a little tricky to get used to. The format's a little bit different than what I'm used to. But once you get into it and start messing with it, it's got a lot of features, a lot of nice features. One of the cons is that I don't like about it, again, is it's a little bit small for the price. I would think it could be a little bit bigger. It has a handle on it that you can hang on your steering wheel. But there again, it's so small, you're sitting out here like this, you want it closer to you, so really that feature doesn't work for me. It does run off of Bluetooth, so you can walk around the vehicle and do things like that with it. You don't have to be a cord going to it. The last time I did a scanner, I think it was a ThinkCar also, but it was the one that had a cord on it and everything else, and I ended up giving it away to somebody. I just never used it. I think I gave it to my son-in-law to use. But that being said, let's get into it. Again, I'm gonna give you the pros and the cons. We already started off with a con, it being too small, but that's just for me. You may want something compact like this. It is pretty durable. It seems rugged. It doesn't seem very cheaply made. Now, I did know a guy who just recently bought the big one. He paid like $5,000 for it, and it's really nice. It does everything the Snap-on does. Matter of fact, it's almost built just like the Alltel one. All right, that being said, let me go ahead and hook it up to a car. Let's get into it, and let's see what this thing can do. All right, I got a Ford pickup here, and it's got a misfire on it. I figured let's just do something very basic with it to see what it can do to start with. I haven't, like I said, I haven't used it a whole heck of a lot, so I'm still learning it too. When you power it up, you just hold the button on the top here, and it powers up. One thing I noticed, I think it must be Android based because it's a little bit fast. It's not like a Windows program like my Snap-on one. It's kind of slow, but it's better, but it's just slower. I've got the key on and I've got the little fob in the OBD2 connector, and it runs through a series of things, and the first thing you come up with is you got a little monkey looking at you, or a gorilla, whatever he is. This little button right here, if you hit that, this opens up an online service. It's like a help thing. You type in, and if you have issues and questions, they respond back to you, and they're pretty quick at it. So you're looking at the first screen here. What you have is auto search. That's your VIN number. You hit it and it's going to go through a series of things. It's starting to scan it. This is probably going to come out wrong, but I almost feel like with all the graphics and the matrix look and all that crap there and the noise it makes, I almost feel like they're doing it to entertain you because it's lacking something, if that makes any sense. All right, so the first page we have, you can auto search, manually select, manually reset service, manually reset the key fobs. Let's look at the first one, automatically search. What are we going to automatically search? Position, loading. That's your vehicle, tells you about the vehicle, hit yes. One thing that's kind of confusing on it is if you have to go back, you have to actually end what you're doing. You just can't go to another screen. So in this screen here, it gives you a health report, system scan, system selection, special functions, common functions, module programming. I guess when available, is probably, this is more like a copy and a paste. Some computers you cannot program, just keep that in mind. So if we look at, let's just do system scan. What this is doing, it looks like it's scanning all the different modules to see if it has it or not. And anytime you come up with one that says equipped, it means it has it. These are everything it has. It's got a 4x4 control module, an ABS module, driver's seat module, instrument cluster module. These are everything it has right here. So let's this powertrain control module. Let's hit that right there. All right, so what we got is when we get to a we get to a point here, you can read the fault codes, I can look at it, I can look at data stream. So right now let's read the fault codes, see if it's got anything on there. We're just going to retrieve memory codes because the check engine light is on. I did verify that when I drove it in. So it's got an ignition coil malfunction, P0353, that's going to probably be the third cylinder. So it's got a primary ignition coil, primary circuit malfunction, and then an ignition coil primary. So it's the same code, just shown two different ways. The only thing I don't like about this thing here is constantly in the way, and I'm sure there's a way to move it out. So let's go back, let's look at data. Let's see if we can read some data stream here. One thing it does, which is kind of cool, and Snap-on doesn't do this, but still it's not enough feature to make me switch over, of course. Now my buddy, he just bought the big one. I must get a hold of him and give him a call to see if, I don't know, just to see if it's something that he'll let me look at, and we'll compare, and I'll set this one by that one. You can look at the difference. I apologize for the blurriness. All right, so we're looking at here, and it gives you all the things to choose from. You can select all and look at everything at one time, or you can go down and just find what you're looking for. It's going to look at misfire, and there's probably a way to look at a misfire data. I just haven't gotten that far yet. This is probably the harder way to do it. Let's see if I can type it in. Let's see here. Engine misfire detected. Let's click that one. Fuel pump, we don't look at that. Injectors, knock sensors. Gotta be getting close. Let's see what we got. All right, I don't see anything here. Let's go back one. Let's look at special functions. Maybe it's in there. You got power balance test, relative compression, transmission, reset the cam alive memory, and manual reset service. Nothing there. This test here we got. These are different tests you can run on shift solenoids, anti-theft, everything but a misfire data. I would think it'd be under read data. Me operating this, don't let it fool you. It's got good features in it. I'm just a little slow at it because I'm new to it. All right, I'm gonna pause the video for a second, find where I need to go, then I'll get you back on. So let me show you what I did. This is where we were at, VIN lookup. So I said, I didn't see what I wanted there, and I went to diagnostics. I hit enter, it's an American, I hit forward. That's where all the cars are you can pick from. And again, it's real good at playing music back to you when it's doing stuff. So you won't get bored, that's for sure. You see a lot of spinning wheels and things flashing all around. And I'm back to kind of where I was on the other button. So I'm not really sure why there's two buttons, because this one here I did automatic search also. And it's the exact same questions, the exact same features. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Powertrain control module. I swear it'd be in live data. They must have it worded different. Normally you can go to misfire, or you can do, unless it's on a totally different screen. I'm gonna look to here one more time. If I find it, I'll get you right back on. So I still haven't found it, but I'm gonna show you a different feature, and then I'll go back and look for it some more. It was starting to hurt my brain a little bit. All right, I went over to maintenance, and if you go to maintenance, you have all these lists of things you can choose from. You can do resets on your air fuel ratio. You can ABS bleeding, adaptive front lighting system reset, suspension matching, airbag reset, battery matching, brake pad reset, clutch matching, water pump, DPF regeneration, ECU reset, EGR adaptive, electronic throttle adaptation, FRM matching when replacing the battery or starter. All things you can do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this helpline here, tell them what I've got, what I'm doing, and see can they guide me to it. So I asked the question. This guy would not, probably an automated reply, not a person. Let me show you a couple of features that I found on it when I was trying to find the misfire on each cylinder. It's got a misfire onboard diagnostic trip flag, the misfire profile correction learned, and the other one I'm looking at, where was it at? Engine misfire currently detected. I'm gonna give you a heads up where I am right now. I got busy doing some other things, and I grabbed my Zeus, stuck it on the truck because I'm more familiar with the Zeus, found what the problem was, called the guy up, and he said he wanted to do all the plugs and the coils. The coil was bad on number 3 cylinder. So once I got it all fixed, I put the one from ThinkCar back on there, and I'm running through just to look at all the cylinders now so you can kind of get an idea what's going on. All right, here's where we're at now. So if you get back over here and we look at what we got going on, and I hit OK to those 3 things, it says there's no misfire currently detected, there's no correction or relearn for the misfire, and the misfire on board diagnostic, there's no trip flag for that. So everything's looking good. I give it the gas. Everything looks good there. So one way you can find a misfire using this computer is if you go to special functions, go to power balance test. You follow the directions, which I've already done. I'm in drive, foot on the brake, hit OK. And if you look at it, there's all your cylinders right across the board here. So if you had one that was like misfiring, there would be a dropout real bad. But our green line there is absolutely perfect. And you got the one cylinder, it's 1, 3, 7, 2, 6, and 3 was our bad cylinder, and it's looking good. But if you look at the blue line, that's kind of what's happening right now. And it's, you know, by looking at that, that's pretty daggone good. And we're sitting at about 592 on the RPMs. So here's a test we can do that's pretty good. Is do a relative compression test. See how that looks on here. We're good there. Fully depressed. It is saying crank engine for 10 seconds. So it's pretty cool. By doing a relative compression, the only difference was this had a 1% difference, this had 2%. It was 158 on the cranking, and basically everything is normal. By doing that, if you came across something that had a low compression, then you would of course pull out your manual gauge, because this is not an exact science. This just gets you close to what you need to be doing. So let's back out of here. Let's do what is a fuel economy test? What is that? This function will change the vehicle status. No, we don't want to do that. Well, I'll tell you what, special function, what the hell, let's just do it. Okay. It says this test will automatically continue when all the following conditions are met. Warning, this diagnostic cables must not interfere. It doesn't. Safety cables or anywhere. Make a correction. Start the engine on and start engine. Well, I've done that. I don't know what the hell happened, but we'll figure it out. It must put it in some kind of a test mode. All right, that being said, I'm going to go to All-in-One Auto. That's in Portsmouth. There's a shop right down the street from me, and my buddy works there. His name is Will. He's got one of these other computers I was telling you about. It's like I can't remember. He said it was $4,000 or $3,000, but it's the big daddy of these ThinkCar scanners. And I'm going to show you that one, and he'll talk about it just for a little bit. So that way, if you're a person who is a DIYer, like to do it at home himself, this is probably good for you. If you're a shop, this other one might work for you. Probably all said and done, even with the Snap-on one, I probably would have gone with either the ThinkCar or the Autel one. I think for the price, you get just as much out of those as that Snap-on. Unfortunately, Snap-on is convenient, if that makes any sense to you guys when you buy things like this. All right, let me stop the video here, and when we pick it up, I should be at All-in-One Auto. My buddy Will's got the ThinkCar, and he's got the brother to the one I've got. This is the big one. This pretty much does everything from what they're telling me. But you can see the difference in the screen size. The one I got is actually almost a little bit bigger than this. What is this?
That's the VCI.
That's the VCI. And this is the big one here. I mean, but look at the size of this thing. So any of you shop owners out there that are looking for something more than what that little baby one was, this is kind of what you want to go to. But this, you said, was about how much money?
I think it's like $3,000.
Okay, I told him between $3,000 and $4,000. I wasn't really sure. It's all touchscreen. Nice.
And the VCI.
It does. It has a scope too, right? Built in.
Yes, it's got all of it. You get all your connections.
Nice.
And that hardwires right to the car. Then you get a digital display up here with your voltage.
Okay, cool.
Clicks. This one here does all the John Deere tractors, Caterpillars.
Now that baby one they sent me came with like a year subscription for free or something. Same way with this one?
Yes. I think this one actually is 2 years.
Okay.
So.
But that's the difference.
It comes with a lot.
Anybody looking for a bigger scope, that's probably the way to go. Between that and Autel, it's a lot cheaper than the Snap-on one.
And this one came with a card. It comes to a platinum upgrade card.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. All right, well, I appreciate it. I'm at All-in-One Auto in Portsmouth, the 757 area code. Anybody needs any automotive work done, stop and see these guys. They sell cars, fix cars, they do it all here. All right, thanks, Will.
No problem.
It's time to bring this video to an end. Going over the scanner, it has its high points and its low points. One of the good things about it is it's compact and it's pretty powerful. one of the biggest things I saw that I didn't like was the navigation part of it. It just took a little bit to get used to. Still, I think it could have been a little more user-friendly. If you're a DIYer, you like to do things at home, this is probably going to work for you. I showed you the one Will had. That that's the big daddy. That is the $3,000 and up one. That's going to be more for your shops and, you know, industrial. Unless you are just a serious person who likes to work at home on people's cars and it's going to pay you to have that, go with the other one. But other than that, this is probably one I'm going to keep. And like I said earlier in the video, I'll take it to auctions and do things. I'm not going to give up my Zeus for it. The features just aren't there. Now, what would be really cool is if they could take this scanner and somehow turn it into a scope also. That would be like next level. That would be a game changer for this little thing. All right, that being said, I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Catch you later.